There's no question that trade can be an act of war, and I think it's led to bad things. Just the attitudes it's brought out in the United States. I mean, we should be looking to trade with the rest of the world, and we should do what we do best, and they should do what they do best.
Well, they did sign up for it.
We're going to be a tariff nation.
We're going to put tariffs.
100, 200, 2,000% tariff.
100% tariff.
Tariff.
My favorite word.
Tariff. The most beautiful word is the word tariff.
Music to my ears.
And it's a tax that doesn't affect our country.
It's been insignificant and revolutionary change, really, ever since it was developed. I mentioned that, we started out as an agricultural society. We started out as a society with high promises, and we didn't deliver on it very well.
Donald Trump just got schooled by the last guy you'd expect to bring the drama, Warren freaking Buffett. Yep, the Oracle of Omaha traded stocks for shade and called out Trump's tariffs like they were a bad investment, because they are. Imagine being so bad at economics that even a grandpa worth $130 billion has to step in and say, "Son, sit down." So what did Buffett say? Why is Trump pretending tariffs are a flex? And how did a quiet billionaire manage to roast the loudest man in politics without even breaking a sweat? Buckle up, this one's more profitable than Trump's casinos.
250 years ago, there's nothing been anything like it. And it's a big mistake, in my view, when you have 7.5 billion people that don't like you very well, and you got 300 million that are crowing in some way about how well they...
Before we move on, smash that like button and subscribe, because you don't want to miss this one. The moment Warren Buffett, yes, the world's most famous investment guru, decides to throw shade at Donald Trump, things have officially gone off the rails. I mean, this is the guy who turned a small loan from his father into enough money to buy the entire state of Nebraska twice, and he's out here calling out Trump like the economic grandpa he is. Why? Because Trump's tariffs, yes, those tariffs, are a disaster so colossal, they make a dumpster fire look like a well-organized bomb.
Blacks get counted as 3/5, and in Article 2, you'll find male pronouns used 20 times and no female pronouns.
Now let's get this straight. When Warren Buffett, one of the wealthiest and most respected financial minds in the world, calls you out, it's not just a friendly hey, maybe rethink that decision. No, this is a public service announcement. Buffett is essentially saying, hey kid, you're about to ruin the economy, and I need to step in before the damage is irreversible. It's like your grandma warning you about eating too many sugar cookies, except in this case, the cookies are trade wars, and the risk of diabetic shock is global economic collapse. So naturally, we all have to sit up straight and pay attention.
It should not be a weapon. And the United States, we've won. I mean, we have become an incredibly important country starting from nothing.
But Trump? Oh, he loves a good tariff. In his mind, tariffs are like the grown-up version of slapping a sticker on a car that says, "I'm a big deal." It's all about flexing his muscles, showing the world just how tough he is with a series of aggressive, nonsensical taxes that were supposed to solve everything, from the trade deficit to his ego problems. The problem is, like everything Trump touches, these tariffs didn't work, not even a little bit. In fact, they were so ineffective that even a child's lemonade stand would have outperformed them. But Trump kept doubling down, convinced that if he just yelled loud enough, the economy would magically fix itself. Spoiler alert, it didn't.
The higher the tariff, the more likely it is to have them come into the
higher the tariff, the more you're going to put on the value of that piece, those goods, the higher people are going to have to pay in shops.
Ready? The higher the tariff, the more likely it is that the company will come into the United States and build a factory in the United States so it doesn't have to pay the tariff.
That will take many, as you know, that will take many years.
In fact, I'll tell you, there's another theory is that the tariff, you make it so high, so horrible, so obnoxious that they'll come right away.
So enter Warren Buffett, the man with a reputation for being the financial world's version of Gandalf. No one tells him what to do, and no one tells him what to think, except when it comes to basic economics, apparently. Buffett might as well have shown up to the party wearing a cape, because his entrance was nothing short of superhero-level dramatic. The guy's been running Berkshire Hathaway for decades, watching stocks rise and fall like a seasoned surfer on Wall Street's wave. He's seen it all. But even he had to step up and go, okay, enough of this nonsense.
In the last 30, 45 days, 100 days, whatever you want to pick up, whatever this period has been, it's really nothing.
Buffett didn't just call out Trump's tariffs in a whisper, oh no. He dropped some real knowledge, cutting through the noise with the precision of a scalpel. Trump's tariffs were, and still are, an economic dumpster fire that set international trade relations ablaze. Buffett was more than happy to point out that, contrary to Trump's beliefs, these tariffs were anything but genius. If anything, they were more like the sort of thing you'd expect from a guy who couldn't balance his checkbook, even if you spotted him a calculator and a basic understanding of subtraction. Trump's tariffs were pitched as a way to bring jobs back to America. The idea was simple: slap a 25% tax on steel, aluminum, and other imports, and voila, American jobs would come pouring back into factories. Making America great again, or at least making America's manufacturing industry exist again. But here's the thing: tariffs don't work that way. It's like trying to fix a broken TV by throwing a rock at it. Sure, the rock does something, but it's not the solution you were looking for. If anything, it just breaks the screen more.
Well, we always have, pretty much. The Japanese situation is different because we do intend to stay so long with that position, and the funding situation is so cheap that...
The reality of Trump's tariffs? Prices went up. Job creation? Not so much. And in case you missed it, the actual people getting hurt by these tariffs were American consumers. Yes, that's you and me. That shiny new fridge you were eyeing? Expect it to cost more. That car you wanted? More expensive now. In fact, the only thing that seemed to go down was Trump's approval ratings, as his tariffs turned into a slow-moving train wreck. So when Buffett looked at this circus, he didn't just shake his head, he did what any seasoned investor would do. He called it what it was, a bad decision. But Buffett didn't stop there. He laid down the facts no one wanted to hear, but everyone needed to. He didn't pull punches. In fact, his comments were more like a straight-up diagnosis for the Trump administration's economic policies. What tariffs really do, Buffett said, is punish consumers. And isn't that the truth? It's not like the Chinese government or the EU woke up one day and said, let's give America a slap on the wrist. No, Trump pulled the trigger on these tariffs, then expected everyone to bow down to his genius. Spoiler alert, they didn't. And instead of helping the American worker, they just helped the stock market spiral into a mini-crisis.
Actually, I've attempted to some degree to match purchases against yen-denominated funding. But that's not a policy of ours. In fact, that's the first time.
But hold on, Trump wasn't just ignoring the advice of Warren Buffett. Oh no, he had a whole team of experts behind him. Well, not exactly experts. More like advisors who were about as well prepared as a high school dropout trying to take the SAT with a broken pencil. And while Buffett was sitting in his billionaire penthouse, sipping on some aged whiskey, the rest of the world watched in horror as the tariffs wreaked havoc across global markets. And Trump's only response? Trade wars are easy to win. Which, if you ask anyone who knows anything about economics, is like saying, I'm going to win the lottery, and here's how, I'm just going to keep spending more money. But the reality of the situation is that Trump's tariffs weren't a grand strategy. They were a blunt object being wielded by someone who couldn't quite grasp the fine art of international trade. And it showed. He wasn't trying to level the playing field. He was trying to throw a tantrum big enough to make the world's most powerful nations bow down to him. But much like the rest of his career, the world wasn't having it. And Buffett, being Buffett, wasn't afraid to say what needed to be said. This is a bad idea. And you've messed it up.